attached to the walls. That's your parietal pleura. The one attached to your to the organs, and in this case to the lungs, is your visceral pleura, and they're meant to reduce friction. That's all I wanted to mention, the visceral and parietal pleura. But that's it. Cool. All right, so starting out, this is the heart. Just want to mention that, you don't need to know it. On the sides of the heart right here, these lobes, those are the lungs. It's the lung. Leading into the lung is your primary bronchi right here. It's your primary bronchi. Over here, primary bronchi. And beneath your lungs right here, this is your diaphragm. All right here. Your diaphragm is what contracts, causing there to be more volume in your chest cavity, which causes there to be less pressure in your chest cavity than the outside environment, which causes you to inhale, causes oxygen to come in. Cool. It's a pressure gradient. So what stimulates that diaphragm to contract, what causes that diaphragm to contract, is the phrenic nerve, and that is right here. Everybody see that?
No.
Oh, it's like a little
Yeah, if you can't see it from there, it's the angle. Right here.
Alright, cool.
And it attaches right here to the diaphragm.
Okay.
Cool. So, again, diaphragm, lungs, primary bronchi, and phrenic nerve. Okay, we're moving up. You have right here is your trachea. Above your trachea is your larynx. Your larynx is composed of two types of cartilage, thyroid and cricoid cartilage. Your thyroid's up right here at the top. That's your thyroid cartilage is your Adam's apple. Beneath that is your cricoid cartilage. And again, that's your larynx. Those two make up your larynx. Your larynx is what's known as your voice box. Beneath your larynx, it becomes your trachea. Your trachea is composed of C-shaped rings, cartilage C-shaped rings. That's these right here. They're C-shaped because of your esophagus, which is this right here. It's behind your sits behind your trachea, and it's loose and it stays closed unless you're trying to eat. And the reason those are C-shaped rings instead of fully formed closed rings is because if you were trying to eat and they were fully formed and closed, your esophagus would have nowhere to expand into, and you would choke on your food. With them being C-shaped, it allows your esophagus to expand a little and allows that food to pass. Cool. And I didn't mention this to anybody else, but the trachealis muscle is between the C-shaped rings. I'll mention that to the rest of the class. But yeah, so trachea, larynx, and then above your larynx is your pharynx, and that's what we know as our throat. And you won't need to know pharynx in terms of your practical and how it's pained, but it is in the pathway of oxygen. So it might be hard for some of you guys to see who's standing over there. Feel free to come onto this side if you want. But the last things we're going to look at are your glottis, your epiglottis, and your true and false vocal cords. So this right here is your glottis, this flap of cartilage right here. And your glottis has the job of flapping down over your trachea when you're eating food. That way your food doesn't go down your trachea and it goes down the esophagus. We've all had it start choking on our food and like it went down the wrong pipe. Well, that's because the epiglottis didn't close.
So it's the epiglottis that closes over?
Epiglottis is the one that flaps over, and it's this piece of cartilage right here. The actual hole that it flaps over, that's your glottis. That's right here. Can you see that? Yeah. You guys might have to come onto this side to actually see it. I know the epiglottis is blocking it, but the glottis is that actual hole.
So it's just the hole itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So now on the side of that hole, the borders of that hole are your true vocal cords. It's this right here. You see that?
The big one?
My probe's touching it right now. It's like the only thing there.
Yeah, gotcha.
There's two of them. That's your true vocal cords. They're called your true vocal cords because they vibrate and cause sound. Okay? Now, if you start at the epiglottis and work your way down to its base on either side, at the base you have this other muscle right here, I guess you call it cartilage. That's your false vocal cords.
It's on both sides.
It's on both sides, and it's more lateral to the true vocal cord. Sits on the side of them.
So true is like in the inside and false is on that side.
True is more medial, false is more lateral. And the true vocal cords vibrate, the false vocal cords don't vibrate. They're actually not even vocal cords. That's why they're called false vocal cords. And they just lend support to those true vocal cords. Okay. But that's it. That's everything we have to go over. Does anybody have any questions on that?
Can you show me the primary bronchi again?
Absolutely. So, move the heart over, push the lung down. You see this right here?
It's like vein looking thing?
Mm-hmm. That's your primary bronchi. And this right here, it's your primary bronchi. No, it's not second, because these are all individual lobes of the lung.
Okay.
So they all have primary, secondary, tertiary bronchi. And same thing over here, you have your primary bronchi. Alright. And that, I mean, it'll be... And the phrenic nerve is right here.
Cool.
Alright. And again, it's as far as the bronchi go, it's the only bronchi we'll be pinning on the test, so it should be pretty easy to find. The lung, we obviously wouldn't pin down here. We would just, put a pin right here. What is this? It's the lung.
Okay.
Cool.
Would you pin the visceral and the pleural?
Yes.
So but like if you pinned it right
If
there.
I did, if I pinned it right here, I
would-
would say not the organ itself.
Not the
something
organ,
like that.
okay.
Yeah. Like, I would make sure you guys know what I'm talking about.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Cool.